Are you tired of feeling like you're missing something crucial in your interactions with women? You see other guys effortlessly navigate relationships, while you're left scratching your head, wondering if there's some secret handbook you never received. What if I told you there are 10 hidden psychological and emotional vulnerabilities women possess that most men completely overlook? These aren't deficiencies, mind you, but rather areas of profound sensitivity, patterns of being that, when understood, illuminate the path to deeper connection and more robust, meaningful relationships. To engage with these realities is not to seek exploitation, but to foster a more sophisticated and compassionate understanding, enabling you to navigate the often turbulent waters of human interaction with greater wisdom and integrity. This isn't about a simplistic formula, it's about peering into the depths. The endeavor to comprehend these aspects of the feminine psyche is, in essence, an invitation to heightened awareness, a call to refine your own perceptive capacities. It's a journey into the nuanced interplay of biology, psychology, and societal influence that shapes the female experience. By acknowledging these often unspoken vulnerabilities, you equip yourself not with tools of manipulation, but with the keys to genuine empathy, stronger bonds, and a more profound appreciation for the intricate dance of human relating. This is a serious undertaking, one that demands intellectual honesty and a commitment to responsible engagement. Let's dive into these 10 insights and transform your understanding of relationships. Stay tuned as we explore each one in detail. First, let's consider the often overwhelming need for external validation. The desire for acknowledgement, for a sense of being seen and approved of, is a deeply human characteristic, woven into the very fabric of our social nature. However, this fundamental human need can, under certain conditions, become particularly pronounced, shaping perception and behavior in significant ways. Understanding this pronounced need is not a license for cynical dismissal or worse, for manipulative exploitation. Rather, it's an invitation to a more nuanced interaction. It allows you, as a man striving for integrity and genuine connection, to discern the subtle currents at play. By understanding this dynamic of validation, you move beyond a reactive stance, becoming a more conscious and constructive presence. Second, we must consider a susceptibility to what might be termed emotional overwhelm. The internal, subjective experience of emotion is, for many women, a landscape of considerable dynamism, a rich and often turbulent sea of feeling. This heightened sensitivity can be a source of immense empathy, creativity, and profound connection, a genuine strength. However, this same capacity for deep feeling can, at times, lead to states of overwhelm, where the intensity of an emotional experience temporarily eclipses other cognitive functions. The Stoic imperative is to remain a steadfast point of stability, a calm presence that acknowledges the reality of her emotional state without becoming dysregulated by it. By cultivating this capacity, you not only preserve your own emotional equilibrium, but also provide a space in which the other person can more readily regain their own. Third, we turn to a phenomenon that can exert a powerful, often subterranean influence on behavior, a deep-seated fear of loneliness, or more specifically, the fear of being unchosen. This underlying apprehension can be a significant motivator, driving a range of behaviors. It might manifest as a pronounced need for constant reassurance of one's attractiveness or desirability, a tendency towards premature commitment in relationships, or even a subtle, anxious vigilance regarding the stability of existing bonds. A man navigating this complex terrain must approach this understanding with a profound sense of empathy, coupled with an unwavering foundation of self-assurance. Empathy is crucial because to dismiss this fear as trivial or irrational is to invalidate a significant aspect of another's subjective experience. Your own self-assurance, your rootedness in your values and your own path becomes a stabilizing force. It's about being a man of your word, predictable in your virtues, thereby offering a form of security that transcends mere verbal platitudes. Fourth, we must address the often subconscious yet remarkably consistent tendency to test boundaries. It's rarely a conscious malicious strategy but rather an almost instinctual probing, a way for women to ascertain the strength, conviction, and consistency of a man's character. Think of it not as an attack, but as a form of due diligence, a subconscious assessment of whether the man possesses a robust internal framework. Your response to these probes is of paramount importance. Firmness, when rooted in well-considered values and communicated with respect, is not perceived as aggression or rigidity, but as strength. The Stoic man does not react with anger or defensiveness to such testing. Instead, he meets these moments with calm clarity, reaffirming his position without hostility, demonstrating through his actions that his yes means yes and his no means no. Fifth on our list is the desire for consistent reassurance, a need that can persist even within the context of what appears to be a secure and stable relationship. In moderation, this is a perfectly healthy dynamic, a way of tending to the emotional garden of a partnership. However, when this desire for reassurance becomes unending, it can signal an underlying vulnerability. The Stoic approach to this dynamic is not one of impatient dismissal, nor is it an endless capitulation to every demand for reassurance. Instead, the aim is to be a stable, grounded anchor. True security in a relationship is built less on frequent declarations and more on the bedrock of demonstrated character and dependable behavior over time. You become a source of stability, not by anxiously trying to soothe every flicker of doubt, but by being in yourself, a man whose presence inherently reassures because it is rooted in integrity and unwavering care. Sixth, we must consider a heightened susceptibility to the twin forces of social comparison and the often corrosive pursuit of perfectionism. The constant barrage of curated images, idealized lifestyles, and seemingly flawless achievements presented on social media platforms creates a distorted lens through which individuals, particularly women, may view themselves, their partners, and their relationships. This relentless exposure to carefully constructed highlight reels can fuel a pervasive sense of inadequacy and insecurity. Recognizing this influence is the first crucial step for a man seeking to navigate this terrain with wisdom. It's about understanding the potent psychological pressures at play and fostering an environment that counteracts these corrosive influences. The Stoic path encourages a focus on what is real, what is within one's control, and what truly constitutes a life well lived. As a partner, you can model this by your own detachment from superficial comparisons, by your contentment with genuine, unpolished reality, and by consistently affirming her inherent value, independent of external benchmarks. Seventh, we encounter what can be described as a subconscious and often unspoken desire for a certain kind of direction or subtle leadership. It is crucial to delineate this from any notion of dominance, control, or authoritarianism. What we are speaking of here is a more nuanced psychological need for clarity, decisiveness, and the sense of security that emanates from a partner who possesses a coherent vision and the capacity to act with purpose. The Stoic man understands that true leadership begins with self-mastery. Your ability to lead, in this subtle and supportive sense, is a direct consequence of your own clarity of purpose, your disciplined thought, and your commitment to virtuous action. When this subtle need for direction arises, it is met not with an assertion of power but with a calm, reasoned, and collaborative approach. It's about being a source of stability and thoughtful guidance, a partner who can be relied upon to navigate challenges with competence and integrity, thereby fostering a deeper sense of trust and mutual reliance within the relational dynamic. Eighth, we must acknowledge a factor that is grounded in undeniable biological reality: the impact of hormonal cycles. These natural cyclical fluctuations in hormones can lead to predictable, though individually varied shifts in mood, energy levels, cognitive patterns, and modes of communication. The Stoic virtue of patience, coupled with a commitment to rational understanding, is indispensable here. When predictable shifts in mood or energy occur, an informed perspective allows you to meet these changes not with frustration, personalization, or emotional reactivity on your own part, but with a degree of foresight and compassionate understanding. This understanding fosters a more stable and supportive relational environment. It allows for a proactive empathy, perhaps offering more support or space as needed, without making a grand production of it. It is about navigating these natural fluctuations with wisdom, grace, and an unwavering commitment to the underlying stability of the connection. Ninth, we must consider a potential vulnerability to emotional manipulation emanating from external sources. Women often possess a remarkable capacity for emotional attunement, a deep well of empathy, and a sophisticated ability to process and respond to the affective states of others. These are profound strengths forming the bedrock of compassion, nurturing, and strong social bonds. However, like any potent capacity, this sensitivity can, under certain circumstances, become a point of entry for those who might seek to exploit feelings for their own ends. Your role as a man committed to truth and the well-being of your partner and relationship involves cultivating your own discernment and, where appropriate and invited, offering a clear, rational perspective that can help to illuminate manipulative dynamics. The Stoic approach emphasizes clear thinking, the examination of impressions, and a commitment to reality over comforting illusions. By maintaining your own intellectual and emotional sobriety, you can serve as a sounding board, a voice of reason that helps to differentiate genuine appeals for help or connection from those that are subtly coercive or exploitative. And finally, 10th, we arrive at a common, though by no means universal, difficulty with direct confrontation, often coupled with a preference for maintaining relational harmony. This tendency can lead to indirect communication, unspoken expectations, or the subtle expression of dissatisfaction rather than a clear, forthright articulation of needs, grievances, or differing perspectives. The Stoic path champions the virtue of courage, which includes the courage to speak truth, even when it is uncomfortable, and to engage in necessary confrontation with clarity and respect. Therefore, in a relationship, he endeavors to foster an environment where open, rational dialogue is not only possible but encouraged. This doesn't mean inviting aggression or hostility, but rather creating a safe space for difficult conversations to occur. This involves modeling directness yourself, approaching disagreements not as battles to be won, but as problems to be solved collaboratively. It is through such courageous and honest exchange that true harmony, rooted in mutual understanding, can be achieved. If you're serious about mastering your emotional landscape, elevating your relationships, and becoming the best version of yourself, a man capable of navigating the complexities of human connection with wisdom and integrity, then you know exactly what to do. Hit that subscribe button right now and join our growing community of men committed to Stoic wisdom and emotional mastery. This isn't about quick fixes or superficial tactics, it's about the profound and ongoing work of self-development. And to keep learning, to continue forging that internal strength, make sure you watch this next video on mastering your emotions as a man. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these 10 insights resonated most profoundly with your own experiences and observations? Drop a comment below and let's continue this crucial dialogue. Stay strong, stay stoic, and I'll see you in the next video as we continue to sort ourselves out and strive for what is highest.